How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI, which ended up giving us a green day. We saw strength in these overall markets. And if you guys remember the video I talked about on the weekend, I want to see us continuing to have a run up going into April, or in the month of April. I'm expecting big things. I'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $9.25, being up 2.66%. On the low, it tested $8.84, and then on the high, testing $9.28. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 33.085 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 50.928 million shares. So we had below average volume on the day, but we did see some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 43.56. So we have some more room to run there. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, you can see we're below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So since we did have a strong green day inside of the market, SOFI ended up showing out. We ended up testing support right at $8.84, and we were able to see a high at $9.28. So going into tomorrow, the level where I want to see SOFI get to is right here around $9.56. If we can get above this level, then I'm looking for us to reclaim the 21-day EMA at $9.71, and that's where it's going to be inevitable, where we will get the test to $10. But like we talked about on the weekend, $10 is a psychological area for SOFI. So if we get to this level, there could be a lot of sellers coming in, but we want the bulls to come in and push this price back up to see if we can get to the levels of around $10.50. This will be a key area, so you're going to want to keep an eye on that. If we end up having a bearish case scenario going into tomorrow, then as far as for the low of $8.84, if we end up breaking it, then the next area of support that you'd want to see hold up will be right here around $8.57. And if we decide to continue to consolidate, so not break the low where we had for today, that is perfectly fine, because the longer we consolidate gets us ready going into the month of April. So let's go on to the short interest information. Now let's take a look at the short interest information for SOFI. So for the off exchange short volume ratio, it's at 56.14%, and then for the off exchange short volume, it is just over 9.94 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.3 million, updated 3 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 2.54%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we could see for the close of the 24th, it was at 50.10. And then for the close of the 25th, being at 56.14. So one thing that is clear, SOFI does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we see on the inflow, it's at 47.73, and then on the outflow, it's at 55.90. So we ended up having an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 1.92. On the medium, it was 29.77. And then on the small, it was 16.04. Keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. Taking a look at the large, on the outflow side, it was 0. On the medium, it was 37.73. And then on the small, it was 18.17. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for March the 28th, which is today, we had an inflow of 1.92 million. And also on the Friday, and we covered that on the weekend video, we had an inflow of 1.59 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 4.01%. So this continues to be a consistent range for SOFI. We know it trades at relatively high volume on a daily basis. It gets a lot of attention out there on social media. But one thing that we have to understand, anyone who's bought into a position, things are still continuing to look good, because right now, from what I'm seeing, the stock is just consolidating. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SOFI, when it comes to the price action, we did see that we had a strong day inside of the market. If we see a continuation of this, then of course I want to see SOFI move alongside with it. And what it could look like for this week, if it continues to look bullish, we could see levels of around $10.67. But of course, for us to get to this level, we need to get past that $10 area, which is going to be a psychological area. So if we have any profit taking for this week, you're going to want to keep a very close eye to make sure that we could hold up $9. We did test $8.84 as the low of today, and I don't want to see that area as this week progresses. Let's hold 9 so we can make that move above 10. This is very crucial. But you also do know from the video that I talked about on the weekend, I'm expecting big things from SOFI in the month of April. But of course, I got to sit back and wait on that. But if it does break through that 884 level, just know this stock can start testing around $8, especially if we have 2 red days for the coming week. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, SOFI does continue to have short squeeze potential. But if you've been in this play for quite some time, you know that already. And it's not surprising due to the environment that we are in. We know as far as interest rate hikes, that is a concern on many investors' minds. And we have Jerome Powell saying, well, you know what? He's going to be doing hikes of 50 basis points. So it's going to impact growth stocks like SOFI, especially since they need to improve consistent profitability. And the only way we're going to be seeing that is when they update us on earnings. And I feel like if you're going to be a long-term investor in a growth stock, you're going to have to deal with the ups and downs. So I want to make sure you are fully aware of that. This is not for anyone who's going to panic sell just because the stock pulled back $1. Let's be honest here. High conviction is key. And the best way to get high conviction is doing your homework and doing your due diligence. Plus, you already know when you're confident in the play, if it dips or if it pulls back, you get excited because you have the opportunity to buy more and you'll be able to benefit years from now, because I do believe that SOFI has a lot of potential. But also do know when it comes to my videos, it is not financial advice. This is my personal opinion and it's just how I feel about the stock, since I am a long-term investor in this play. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.